Hello and welcome. I want to share just a few quick tips that I use all the time. These are universal. You can use this on pretty much any drum machine, synth, inside Ableton, whatever you're using. Okay, so first we are going to use a high pass filter with resonance to boost the low end of your kicks and your bass. So here I have a simple bass. Sounds pretty good, right? But we can make it sound quite a bit better on the low end. So what we'll want to do is go into the filter page and we will start lowering this. This is a low pass filter, so we're gonna cut out all the highs, but don't worry, we will bring them back. The reason we cut out the highs to begin with is to better pinpoint where the low end frequency is that we want to boost. So we will add some resonance and find the sweet spot. All right, so 32 sounds about right. So then we just need to change the filter from a low pass to a high pass. And it's going to keep that resonance spike there. And then there we have it. So you can hear the difference here. And it may be difficult to hear this on small speakers, so you may need headphones. All right, so here I have a drum loop. And we will go and do the same process for this. Okay, so around 44 seems about right to me. So then we'll just change this again. And we have the highs back. So without. Now we can listen to both in context with each other and compare the difference. Okay, so a really good habit to get into to keep your mixes sounding interesting and not fatiguing. Don't have all of your sounds just right in the middle. You have to remind yourself to make sure that you are using the whole stereo field. So I've prepared two of the same exact patterns here, everything just straight down the middle, and then the other one I have set up with different tricks with LFO and sound locking. So you may need headphones to hear the difference on these, or some good stereo speakers. This is without anything at all, and I'll go through it and then I'll switch to the other one and you can hear the difference. So yeah, hopefully you can hear the difference there. Definitely creates a lot of space, and it leaves room for all of the different sounds to breathe. There's a lot of different ways you can go about this. So one method is just to simply parameter lock the pan left or right. And then the other method is basically just set a simple LFO to amp pan. Make it pretty slow, so like 2 BPM, and I have this one around 24. I like a simple sine wave because it's nice and smooth, panning left and right. And then, yeah, just, put the depth to whatever sounds good to your ears. So the drum sounds in particular, I do like to parameter lock. Okay, so these are a lot of hi-hats I have, so, this is, and it doesn't take much. So, 27, just slightly to the right. This is slightly to the left. You get the idea. We'll go to, I think this just has a simple snare. This snare is to the left, that snare is to the right. So we talked about using a filter to boost frequencies. It's definitely a good habit to possibly take away some frequencies. So on the filter page 2, where you have the bass width filter, basically a high pass and low pass filter in one, and you can cut both frequencies at the same time and then move to the point where you want the frequencies to be left in. We have, I think this is a pad here. Yep. And then this is sort of a bass, not really, but it's more for texture. This is really the bass frequencies itself. We do want to cut some frequencies out of these two because we don't want them to interfere with this. This is more of a lead sound. So yeah, some very subtle changes where it may not be super obvious to hear, but in the context of your entire mix, you definitely want to utilize this for your tracks to carve out what you don't want if it's sounding muddy. The last thing that I want to talk about, ghost notes. Again, this is a very subtle thing. I've prepared 2 patterns here. And we're on the snare here. So it's pretty rigid, which is fine if this is the sound you're going for. This is the extra pattern that I've created. Same pattern, but the snare has all these blinking ghost notes. The amp here, very low volume. You can barely hear them, but it adds a lot. So we will go back and forth. We'll listen to this one, loop it through, and then I'll change to the other one, and hopefully you can hear the difference. When you put all these together and you make it part of your workflow and you really pay attention to all these little details, it can definitely help a lot in gluing everything together, making everything have its own space and fit. All right, and that is it for this video. Thank you very much for watching.